What's up, everybody? I got some cool bows I want to show you. They're bows that uh, I've worked on in the past, and one of them is pretty neat. It's a bow that we built kind of some test strings for because it's kind of a unique bow. It's a traverse, but we put Verdict's switch weight cams on it. And before one of you smart guys rolls up and he's like, "Oh, that's just a VXR 31.5." No, it's not. VXR 31.5 is 31.5 inches. This one is still 33 inches. Now, when you overlay those two risers, even though they look a little different, the geometry is almost identical from a VXR and this Traverse. But this is unique because it's a Traverse that's got switch weight, so it's rare air. Put it to you that way. More people have climbed Everest than have owned one of these bows that is set up like this. There's a few of them out there. This ain't the first one. I don't know. There's a couple people who got smart and built some. Well, there's a handful. I'm not gonna say some. There's a handful of them out there. But this one we were able to get away with using the same module and everything, and it's pretty damn sweet. Why they didn't make the Traverse that way to begin with, I don't know. And then he's got another bow. It's an Impulse 31, but we got ritual cams on it. A little smoother than it was with the Impulse cams. But that's the cool thing is just looking at them, you'd think that they're stock bows. But they're not, and that's what I like about working on Dennis's stuff because we're always doing something a little different. It's kind of like my stuff. Very rarely will I have a bow that's just a factory-built bow. And it's not because factory-built stuff isn't good. It's because I like stuff that's different. I don't want to shoot the same shit you got. And a lot of times I'm trying to do something specific with it. I'm trying to build something that is doing something specific. I'm not a big, huge guy. Most of these bows only perform well in the upper draw length ranges, so I generally have to build something around my size. You know, I got like a little over a 28-inch draw depending upon the axle of the bow. Sometimes it changes a little, give or take. But as a whole, you know, I've always kind of built, you know, I've got a bow over here. It's old school, man. I built like years ago, but it is a Bow Madness XL, but I've got TH hybrid cams on it off of a Moneymaker, one of the first gen Moneymakers. And the reason I did that is because when I take that cam, which is made for a lot longer draw length, like the Moneymaker originally had like 8-inch draw length, or 8-inch, Jesus, draw length, brace height. So it's made for a lot longer brace height. So Moneymaker originally was like 8 inches on brace height. So that cam, you know, would go out to a pretty long draw length. Now, when you put it on this bow, that Bow Madness XL, it's like just under 6 inches, 5 3/4, 5 7/8, something like that. So that means that instead of when it was on a Moneymaker, I'm shooting it way at the bottom end of the draw length settings on that cam, and I get no performance. It's a turd. When I put them on this bow, I'm shooting it all the way at the end of what the cam will do. I'm getting maximum rotation. I'm getting all that cam will produce. Okay? So now I've elevated the performance tremendously, and it's a lot faster than it was as a Bow Madness XL, and a lot more accurate cam. So that's why I did that. And that's the cool thing I like about building Dennis's stuff. It's always something a little different. He got a similar mindset as me. He wants to do something that's cool, a little different, figure out if there's a way that we can improve it. And we did on both bows, both accounts. And both bows have test sets of strings on them now, just like stuff we built to play with to get exact specs that we wanted out of it. Now we're building the final set for him, and we're gonna get them all put together so that way he can go elk hunting. And so that way we can get him elk hunting. And the thing is, man, I just got interrupted. Got kids coming to ask me about if they need to put butter on the noodles for the spaghetti. Anyway, so we're getting ready to put these together so that way he can go elk hunting with them. He doesn't know which one he's going to take yet. The only downside to the Matthews, man, I really like that bow. Only downside is it's a freaking boat anchor. Some of it should come with like 50 foot of rope. So if you don't like it, you just kick the damn thing over the side of the boat because it'll hold you there. It's heavy. But with that weight there, it's good as far as being able to aim it and accuracy standpoint. But toting it in the mountains, man, sucks. So he may roll with that little Impulse with those ritual cams on it, I don't know. But I just wanted to touch base and show you guys these bows. So this is the Traverse with the Verdict switch weight cam on it. So And it came back out to spec perfect. 33-inch axle to axle, brace height's right on the money. Still get to use the same module from the Verdicts. A lot of these bow builds are the ones that I've seen, one or two that I've seen so far online. They're having to use different modules because the draw links get all whacked out. I tweaked on this enough that it still comes out right on the money. So if you just put a little brain in it and don't just wing it, you can make this stuff work and work right, okay? This is a little impulse. Now, consequently, the impulse factory strings with its cam, its original impulse cam, will work with the ritual cam, but it's not perfect, right? So I've got this where I need it to be now, where everything comes out perfect. So I'm gonna build a final set of strings for this thing, and it's really gonna jam. Cool thing is, man, you know, this is a stout little bow. That's 80 pounds. You know, Dennis, he's stout, man. He can shoot that kind of stuff. I used to shoot that kind of stuff till my shoulder got all whacked out. But this little bow, pretty sweet, man. Aims good. Dennis also had a bow that we built. It's an Impulse 34, but we put split limbs and all that stuff on it. Put the ritual limbs and pockets and all that stuff, and it's legit. It's super lightweight. That bow pounds. It's really good. And I thought about making a double bus cable system for him, so he had a yoke at both ends and you could really tune the shit out of that thing. We just hadn't got to it yet because I got to make a custom axle for it. But when we have more time, we're going to play around with that and just see what we can do. It's fun to do stuff like that. Not saying I'm trying to, you know, it may work better and it may be shit, but you don't know until you put in a little time and effort and make it, and see if you can make it jam. So, but that's what I'm working on. I got the prototype stuff on these done. I'm gonna build the final sets now. He's gonna come grab these this weekend, or maybe first of the week, and we're gonna get them ready to rock and roll. Get ready to go shoot some elk with them, and then we'll go from there. But I'll show you the string builds and I'll show you the final product when we're done. We're going pretty ninja on all of them. They're gonna be black on the Traverse, just black on black, and then this bow, I've got a color that I may try and do that's similar to this. Dennis did this himself. It's pretty cool. It's a Cerakoted riser and limbs, and he tried to match the ambush green from Matthews. I don't know if it's going to turn out well in this video, but he did a pretty damn good job. It's real close. It's real close, and it looks good. It's just clean. It's a good job. A good job. So I'm gonna quit rambling. I'm gonna get to work. But what I'm getting at is, man, don't be afraid to do something different. You know, don't be afraid to try and switch some stuff up. Make something cool. Make something not everybody's got. I can help you with that. I built a billion Franken bows, cams and limbs and different stuff. This and that. I mean, a bow. I got one that's cool, and some of you guys have seen it because I've talked about it before in the past. And a buddy of mine calls it my garage sale bow. It's not. It just looks a little rough because I've drug it all over the countryside, but it's just such a good bow, so accurate, really forgiving. The specs on it are impressive. Let me show you. Hang on. Now, this damn thing gonna have spider webs and all kinds of stuff all over it because it's been sitting out here in the shop collecting dust. But some of you may recognize this riser. It's not an Ultratech. It's a 737 riser, Hoyt 737 riser from like 07 or 08 or something. And then I put XT 2000 limbs, which this riser originally was built around the XT 500 limb or 1000, a little short limb like this. And then it had a softer hybrid cam on it with a rotating module. So what I did is I put because originally the 737 was 37-inch axle to axle, 7-inch brace height. That's where they got the 737. Now this bow is about 36 3/4 and a 7 7/8 brace height. And I put Spiral X cams on it, or maybe they're Spiral Pros. No, they're Spiral X cams. So it's got Spiral X cams on it. So, and it's a 70-pound bow, so you got to be a full-grown man to hold this thing at full draw, because it draws about 71 pounds and holds about 22 pounds. Which a lot of you target guys, man, you are used to that kind of stuff. And yes, I do hunt with this bow quite a bit. It's not always what I'm carrying in the woods and stuff, just because sometimes I'll have stuff that's just a little easier to hold a full draw. But the thing that is so killer about this bow is it's got an almost 8-inch brace height, 7 7/8 brace height, and at 28 and 3/8 draw length. Actually, no, it's 28 and a quarter. 71 pounds, 405 grain arrow to shoot at 293 with an 8-inch brace height. That's ridiculous. And the cool thing is this thing tunes so good. I mean, down the pipe, I can shoot anything out of this bow. And that's just rare, man. And I was a Hoyt fan for years. And their newer bows, like when they came out with the Podium X and all that, from that point on, man, I'd had the Podium, I'd had a Prevail, and all those bows, and I just couldn't get one to tune very good at all. For whatever reason, they had like a weak or a right tear. I'm right-handed, so they had a weak tear, a right tear for me that was almost impossible to get out. And I loved the way the bows looked and felt and aimed and the speed, but I just couldn't get it out without doing some crazy stuff and it just looking silly. So I always got rid of them, and I've always kept this thing for the simple fact that it's an example of keep it simple, stupid. Okay, stock standard old cable slide, everything's spaced right down the middle.
Dada.
And hang on, baby, what's up? Hang on. Here, go back in the house. I know the food's ready. I'll be in there in just a second.
You can't make the supper faster.
Okay, we'll go on in there. Tell him I'm almost done. I'll be in there in a minute. Hey, go on. Tell him I'll be in there in a minute. Tell him I'll be in there in a minute. All right. Hopefully it's the last interruption. Anyway, that's my 3-year-old. She come and tell me that supper's ready. Trying to tell her brother that he ain't getting food ready fast enough. But anyway, so I snatched the cable slide off of this. I had it on another bow. I was testing something out, but I run the PSE roller cable slide on here. This is a solid carbon bar on the cable slide, and it's not adjustable. It's fixed. Okay, so and this is what I'm getting at. Their bows, their target bows especially, have had generally the same geometry for years, for multiple generations of bows, right? And this bow and their previous bows, like the Contenders and Vantage Pluses, all that from there down, man, I don't know that they made a better target bow, especially in that time frame. Just shot so good, and that Spiralex cam's performance is so good. They're a whole lot more accurate. I don't know if anything, especially for the time period. But when they started adding all this adjustable shit and cable slides and cable rods that are movable and that change and all this stuff, and started putting a bunch of cool guy crap on there, it seemed to go downhill. So when I started having tuning issues and things not staying the same and all that. And I'm not trying to knock Hoyt, I'm just saying that in my personal experience, in my personal opinion, that was a mistake. The winningest bows in target history have been pretty simple. Back when Matthews, when they had the Conquest 4, that was the go-to, man. That's what everybody won everything with, and it was as simple as it gets. Fixed cable rod, super simple, no roller guard, no none of that.
I can't open the door.
And it just made it it just made it a lot. Okay, go in there. Boy, you want some reality TV? 3-year-old back telling me she can't open the door and her siblings ain't letting her in. And there's 4 other ones in there. Oh wait, 5. I got a lot of kids. I got 7 kids, in case y'all wondering. 7. Start at 15, end at one that's like 18, 19 months old. Anyway, 5 boys, 2 girls. The little girl right here is a criminal. Anyway, so what I'm getting at is they make those, the simplest bow has been the most accurate ones. And everybody's, you read online or you hear, see people make videos. They talk about how roller guards and stuff are so much better and this and that. If that was the case, then why is Hoyt, which one is the most dominant target bow on the planet, and then the Matthews C4, what? Come on, man. Y'all know if noodles are done. Go on. Anyway. Got teenagers, don't know if spaghetti noodles are done. Come on. Anyway. Those bows are super simple. And the roller guard stuff is not a better thing. That's why I think now, if some of these other people that have these roller guards would just go back to a fixed cable rod that's adjustable, like far as its position, not tilt so much, but its position, and put like the PSE style roller cable slide on there, it's a vast improvement. You still got the roller smoothness, but the simplicity, the repeatability, and the accuracy of that conventional style cable rod and cable guard. My opinion, I just think that would work better. There's going to be a lot of dudes on here going to be like, oh, no, no, no. And they're going to fucking geniuses, all of them, right? Don't know shit from anything other than just what their buddy's uncle's dad's boyfriend's sister's ex-husband tells them because he's a genius and he worked in a bow shop one time. No. Listen to what I'm telling you. From an engineering standpoint, when you have a fixed roller guard, especially one where the cables are moved closer to the riser and not to the string, like Matthews is doing, where they got it kind of reversed, where it's kind of pushing the cables back towards the string. That's smarter. Okay, if you're gonna have a roller guard, that's smarter. But for the ones that are closer to the riser, where, if you have this cable rod, instead of them going that direction, like on the Matthews, if this was shorter and they were going the opposite direction, that's a bad deal. Let me show you why. Because when you draw this back, okay, you pull this back, all the force multiplies down and it fixes on this location. This becomes a lever. So what happens is when you draw the bow back, now the bow is going to turn like this in your hand, and they're all going to do it a little bit, okay? But this is going to do it substantially more. The shorter this is, the worse it gets. Okay, the further back this is, the better off you're going to be, okay? Go in this direction, Matthews, that's smart. If you're going to do a fixed roller guard. But the ones that have it short up here and the cables go this way, jump. And you run into tuning issues with that bow. And you draw it back, and you're looking at it like this, you draw it back, and it does this number in your hand. So guess what happens when you fire it? Boing, this way, okay? And it does it a lot. Now, I will say this, having a bow that has some direction when you shoot it is a good thing, but not something that is dramatic like that, because then your center shots are all whacked out. You got it at full draw, you look down, your damn stabilizer's off over here, your sight's way out here. I just don't like the way it looks. Can you make those bows shoot good and tune well? Yes, but it looks dumb as shit to me, okay? I don't like to draw my bow back and shit's going in all kinds of different directions. I don't like that. Have to get extended freaking bars for your scope so that way your scope sits 3 inches out off your damn sidebar. Stupid, man. So I wish people would make it a little more simple, stupid, man. The quality materials and stuff is so good. Technology is so good. But in order, they've kind of run out of ways to sell bows. Okay? So what they end up doing is they start adding all these gadgets and gizmos. Archery is a gadget and gizmo freaking business, and it's ridiculous because 95% of the people that shoot a bow or work on a bow, for that matter, the dudes behind the counter, I'm gonna pick on y'all for a minute. Most of y'all don't know shit. Only thing you know is what's walked through that door. You have no knowledge of anything from years ago, or I mean, it's just so many bow shops. The people working behind the counter have no business working behind the counter. That's why There are so many people now learning to do their own tech work. They're coming to our seminars and learning. They're going to seek out YouTube information. They're buying their own equipment. They got their own presses. They got their own stuff because they can't get quality work from the bow shop. And it's because 90% of the shit that's on these bows has no business being on there, and the people behind the counter have no business working on it with all that adjustable stuff. Just don't. So, you know, it is what it is. Keep it simple, stupid, man. There's some really good bows out there, and luckily, it seems like they're kind of starting to get away from some of that gadgety stuff. A lot of the companies are getting back to a little more stripped down, you know, Formula One ninja looking stuff that doesn't have all this crap all over it. And that's good, man. That's good. It's going to make it easier for people to work on. It's going to tune easier. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, you know, you run out of ways to sell bows, so they keep adding stuff telling you it's the greatest, newest technology. Man, it ain't. They just recooking old shit. You know, most of the time when they come out with a mid-price range bow or an entry-level bow, all that is parts from leftover shit. It's a riser that they had from a couple years ago that they made a shitload of, that now they got to get rid of them. And then they'll take the limbs or a cam off of something else that's a couple-year-old technology. They put it together, and it's this new great thing, and it's an affordable $400, $500, $600 bow. It's just recooked shit. It's leftovers. That's what it is. I can give you an example of multiple bow companies that have done that. Matthews, Elite, Hoyt, all of them big people have done that. So, and it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's smart business. It's getting rid of a bunch of old stuff. It's overhead you're getting rid of. It's smart. And there's nothing wrong with those bows. And most of the time, they're pretty good bows because they're pretty simple. They're pretty stripped down. They don't have a lot of gadget and gizmo stuff all over them. And it amazes you at how many times you walk in the store and the people that are in there working on, they're like, man, you know, it's a little over $400 or $500. I almost like it better than I do their flagship bow. I wonder fucking why. Because it's easier. It's simple. It does all the things you need it to do. And it's going to do it better and more consistent because it doesn't have all the gadget gizmo crap on it. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. Anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox here. I just wanted to show you all those bows we're working on. Tell you what's cool about them. They're cool because they're different. You know what I mean? It's rare air. It's like people that hike Everest. Ain't a lot of them people. Ain't a lot of people got these bows set up like this either. But it's cool, man. And I implore everybody to do something different. And really look at what you're shooting. And think about, are any of those things necessary? And have you used them if it is a gadget, gizmo, adjustable something? And is it beneficial? If it is for you, great, because perception's reality. If you believe it is, it is. But if you sit back and really think about it, some of you are probably going to look at your bow a little different. Some of you are probably going to think, damn, you know, he may be right. Some of you are probably going to think I'm crazy as hell, and that's fine. That's fine. You got your own opinion. You know, the people that got just somebody I guarantee right now, they're going to sit and argue and piss and moan because I got those switch weight cams on a Traverse. They're going to be, oh, it's just a VXR 31.5. No, it's not. No, it's not. The geometries are very similar. As far as the geometry of the riser is very similar. Almost identical, other than the VXR riser is longer and the limb pocket angle is different. The limb position is different. It's a longer riser, actually, but shorter axle to axle. This bow's still 33 inches, not 31, so it's not a VXR. You know, so it is what it is. If you're wanting something with a little more axle to axle length and a little, you know, a string angle that's not so sharp, not so acute, this is a good option, man. And if you're a big long draw guy, it's a real good option. So, I mean, I'd even shoot it. And I could shoot it and it'd still have good performance for me at 20, a little over 28 inches. So, but that's the thing. And I probably pissed off a bunch of dudes in mall crawler Jeeps that got their VXRs and then some which ain't never been dirty before. You're the Me Too guy. Welcome to being part of the Me Too crew. Hey, man, what are you shooting? Oh, VXR 31.5. Oh, me too. Dorks. It's a good bow. Hell, I'm probably going to order one, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to do something different to it. We'll see. I may shoot it like it is stock for a while. I might become the Me Too guy also. Maybe not. But what I'm saying is, do something different. It's cool to be different. It's original. I come from a real Harley background, right? Been around that stuff my whole life, motorcycles and all that. And my boat right now, which the camera's sitting on. Everything that I do, I try to make it original. Try to make it something different, a little cooler. You know, something that says me, says Tyler. This is Tyler's stuff. You know, we need to get some of that into archery too, man. Get something's cool. None of you guys will keep a bow long enough to do that. Change bows like cell phones. Man, there's good stuff out there. No reason to get rid of it. If it's not exponentially better or does some miracle shit that yours won't do, roll with what you got. It'll make you a better archer. You'll learn your stuff better. The more time you spend behind something, the more efficient you're going to be with it, more effective you're going to be with it. I'm done. Probably pissed a bunch of people off, but I don't care.